What is up, people of YouTube? It is Purger back here with another video, and today we're going to be building the Inquisitor gaming PC. This bad boy is equipped with a Ryzen 7 7700X CPU and a NVIDIA 5060 Ti. It's also equipped with an MSI ARGB 650 Mortar Wi-Fi motherboard. Featured with the JONSBO D31 computer case, comes with an 8-inch non-touch secondary display that comes integrated with the case. Screen includes an HDMI cable and a USB-C. The screen is super easy. Just take off the existing cover and then plug in the USB-C and the HDMI. I'm sure that I can do everything I want to do. I'm going to completely unassemble the case. Everything is so far easy to take apart. I mean, these are the only screws, and that's to get into the radiator. Everything else is pretty much a pop-off cover. I don't know what it is with these power supplies, but this 1050, it worked for a little bit, but then it became faulty and I had to buy a replacement. So you're gonna see that this power supply is gonna be replaced later, but as far as right now, we're just going in order. So yeah, I got the 1050 at first, got it installed. Don't get me wrong, it was a really nice PSU. Just take these screws off, you know, situate it in there, take the bracket off. In a way, it's good that it's cold failed. You got a platinum. I've had about 4 faulty power supplies bought straight up that didn't work when it came in. It's very common for a power supply to fail. Hooked in. There we go. It's hooked in. And voila. It's done. Gotta watch the... Gotta kind of adjust it on the inside too. And voila, there we go. Now it's easy to screw in. Same on this side. Yep, good to go. So now we get the PSU in, but I forgot to get the cables in, so I'm gonna have to run the cables. Damn it. Alright, let's do the CPU first. So this case has its own power router, since this is in the front of the case. Right there. So all we gotta do is just plug this into the PSU at the top. It's easy as that. Alright, let's get his controller and fan set up here. This features a mirror and the fans around it as well. It also features 2 ways to change his lights, both by a remote and by the motherboard software itself. So this controller is going to give access to both. And it lights up as well, so I also didn't forget to get the 3 additional fans for the bottom. This is going to go right there. These fans will provide a lot of airflow for his GPU. Here it is. Okay, so I gotta install his fans. Screwing fans in. Took a little bit, I had to readjust a little bit, but it's all there. Alright, now the motherboard. Let's get into it. It's the MAG MSI B650M Mortar Wi-Fi motherboard. It's a step up from the 550 you've seen on Sleeper A, and robust design, 2.5 gigabyte LAN, Lightning Gen 4, DDR5 support, Lightning 20G USB, it's got about 7 USBs, Wi-Fi 6E, and a bunch more software utilities in MSI Center. Oh, nice! Comes with some pretty cool stickers. Oh, it comes up with more stuff. What? There's a lot more stickers than what came with the P550. That's nice. I like that. Okay. Antenna wires, SATAs, offset M.2s. Okay. Nice. It's a lot nicer in person. It's all blacked out and jet blacked. I love it. 7 USBs, 1 USB-C, an Ethernet, and the audio for your speakers and surround. Wi-Fi 6E antennas. Also comes with 2 PCIe 16 slots. It also comes with 2 M.2 ports, so we're able to put 2 M.2 NVMe drives in there as well. Turns out the SATAs are on the side. You got 4 SATAs there, USB 3.1, 2 extra SATAs there, and then your usual USB headers. 4 sticks of DDR5 and 2 power cables for the CPU, which I did not realize. I'm gonna actually have to put in another one for here. So for his Windows drive, I decided to give him this 500 gigabyte Barracuda. I did put it in here for a video on transferring storage, but I'm gonna give this because it's perfect for OS. And you know, if you just keep Windows on it and nothing else, then it'll be a perfect drive. It'll be perfectly fast for your OS for years. This, I'm gonna give him as like a secondary storage, and his gaming storage is coming in the mail soon. It's gonna be a WD Black. For right now, I'm just gonna worry about this and this being in his motherboard. His gaming storage can go into the extender I'm gonna give him. So for the RAM, we decided to go for the G.SKILL Trident Royal Neo. This is a DDR5. I believe it's like 6,000 mega transfers. Either that or 6,004. But it comes with your stickers, documentation, a cloth to wipe it down, and that beautiful silver. I get the diamond finish too. Okay. I did not pay attention here, but this is why you should pay attention. It shows you which one should be the first 2 you set up, and I did the complete opposite. I went with A1 and B1 when it should be A2 and B2. That's the first when you're only doing dual channel RAM, but I'll address this later. It'll just be done off camera. This is just to make sure no one catches me and be like, oh, you did it wrong. It's supposed to be this slot and that slot. But, you know, I addressed it already, so. Alright, so here it is with the Ryzen 7 7700X. This should be a pretty decent gamer. Alright, comes with the sticker and the CPU and documentation. Alright, so I'm not gonna install the cooler yet. But to get the brackets on, I do need to open it. So I got the CORELIQUID A15360, and I'm actually going to be doing another review on AIO. So this is going to be what I'm going to be doing next, but this is for the Inquisitor. And obviously it supports not only LGA 1851 and 1700, but it also supports AM5 and AM4. It says on the back, doesn't say on the front, but pump, brackets, and thermal paste. Firing the radiator. It looks like this version comes pre-assembled for the fans. Okay. That's actually pretty good. You don't need to assemble fans. The D360, you had to assemble the fans, so that's actually pretty neat. Okay. Less work. Cool. That's the radiator and fans and the pump right here. Looks like they tie all the cables on the pump wire. The motherboard actually lines up perfectly, so all I gotta do is screw it down. Alright, I think that's pretty much it for mounting the motherboard, and I just gotta get the cooler out now. I got the controller in. It was very tight and it was really hard to get in, but it's in there. Now all I gotta do is just hook the motherboard up and then the power. First thing I'm gonna do is the USB 3.0. Next is the USB-E wire. Now HD audio goes to that last port. Alright, so you see these holes? Well, in order for this screen to work, you need to loop these on the outside and connect it to the GPU. Alright, and this controller here just needs to be plugged into CPU fan. So I had to take this fan to get this up here. Yeah. I'm gonna install the cooler next. Installed. So it turns out I ran out of thermal paste, so I'm just gonna use the MSI thermal paste that came with this. So yeah, it should work pretty well too. I'm pretty plastic off. So I did as best a cable management as I could. There's a lot of cables. Okay, here's the part where the faulty power supply came in. Remember how I said a 1050 wasn't working? Well, we got a 1300 watt platinum. The customer is going to be very happy with this. Not only is it a better power supply, but it actually worked. 1300
watt, so it's actually better and more efficient.
And yes, it worked. Before, only the RAM was popping up, nothing else was coming on. Now everything is lit up, and it is beautiful. And with that, it has done its normal checking, and now it's time to install the BIOS and update Windows. Or install Windows, I mean. The last BIOS was a 2024 version, so let's get it up to 2025. Alright, let's set them up with the correct DRAM speed, expo, and CPU boost. Save and quit. This should be straightforward. All I'm doing is installing Windows. I'll skip over the boring part here. But I have set him up with the MSI chipset, drivers, Bluetooth, Windows updates, and even NVIDIA drivers and storage allocations. Alright guys, it's about 2 weeks later, and his storage drive came in, so what I decided to do was, I'm going to put his NVMe in the bottom slot right here. Now this is a 3-in-1 storage board. The top uses a different sort of type of SSD, while the bottom uses a regular NVMe. This is sort of a different WD Black. This is a newer SN7100. They ran out of 850Xs. There's no difference in this. There's only about 150 megabytes per second difference. For his GPU, I decided to go with a 5060 Ti. This is a 16 gigabyte card. It has a metal backplate, aluminum design. It works great with Afterburner, MSI Center, DLSS, AI enhanced graphics and performance. Obviously, NVIDIA's Blackwell GPU architecture. And the color matches the rest of the components in the PC. So this build is going to look pretty nice. Alright, so I'm going to install the storage devices. The fan should provide airflow, so I didn't really need to put the heat sinks on the SSDs. I do have heat sinks, but since the fan is there, I don't need it. It should also provide some cooling for the GPU as well, which is going to be very nice for thermals. Next thing I did here was I installed the GPU mount so it doesn't sag. This secures to the fan so that it doesn't move. It's very easy, it's all hand tightened. This PC is pretty much done. Just screw this down and we'll get some game testing going. Alright, we're going to be testing a handful of games. First up is Black Ops 6. Next one's going to be Doom, The Dark Ages, Halo Infinite, Rainbow Six Siege, Indiana Jones in the Great Circle, The Outlast Trials, Grand Theft Auto 5, and Forza Horizon 5. Black Ops 6 has done an amazing job so far at performing 125 frames to the highest of 180 frames per second. It scored 154 watts of GPU power, 68% of the CPU, and 99% of the GPU. Most games ran 80 Celsius up to about 83 Celsius max. Nothing exceeded past over 84 Celsius. Doom Eternal is a really outstanding performing game, being the best performance, running at the lowest 175 frames per second to the highest at 210 frames per second. With a GPU power of 158 watts, 23% of the CPU utilized, 95% of the GPU utilized, and of course the GPU staying at 80 Celsius, 176 Fahrenheit. And following up from that is, of course, Halo Infinite, as you can see here. I'm not really too good at the game. I got maybe like 1 kill here in a hard scope. But besides that, the game performed pretty well. Rainbow Six Siege, another game I'm not so good at. But this one was pretty funny. I ended up ricocheting the shield and it killed him. But this game has performed almost as good as Doom Eternal, running at the lowest 145 frames per second and the highest at 150 frames per second. 155 watts of GPU power, 27% CPU utilization, and 95% GPU utilization. GPU temperature stayed at 81 Celsius. Alright, let's get into the fun games. Right now we're going to get into Bethesda's Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. The combat I do enjoy from this game. You can pick up muskets and in a quick spot shoot your target. But besides the mechanics of the game, this game ran a decent 160 to 170 frames per second with 154 watts of GPU power, 35 CPU utilization, 96 GPU utilization, and ran at 81 Celsius, ever changing from 81. Outlast Trials. Now, take in mind, all these games are at its highest settings with the ray tracing, if able. Outlast Trials has ran 82 to 90 FPS with 167 watts of GPU power, 26% CPU utilization, 99 GPU utilization, and a GPU temperature of 81 Celsius. Grand Theft Auto 5 Enhanced Edition has ran in full glory, ray tracing and all, ultra settings, 70 to 76 FPS with 169 watts of GPU power, 28% CPU utilization, 97 GPU utilization, and of course the GPU temperature again is at 81 to 82 Celsius. Last but not least, out of the racing games, we're covering Forza Horizon 5. Forza Horizon 5 has made it to 100 to 107 FPS with a total of 160 watts of GPU power, 18% CPU utilization, 98 GPU utilization, and it maintained 81 Celsius. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I also provided some footage on some things you can do with the front case screen. This works as a secondary display, or even a third if you already have a secondary display. This is not a touch display, but it works great for seeing what's now playing on either Spotify, Pandora, or whatever music player of your desire. Not only that, but it also works great for seeing your messages from Xbox and even Discord in real time. Multiple capabilities, best competitive gaming performance for its price. If you enjoyed this video, give a like, subscribe if you're new, and let me know what I can do better, and I'll see you guys for the next video.